What is up, everybody? This is Matt, the host of the Jamies, and we're kicking into a great episode for you. We have so much music that I just truly love and believe in. Everything that I've been listening to in March, I don't want it to go away, man. I'm stoked on it. I'm excited to tell you guys about it. We have some older artists that maybe have some older projects that I need to mention with the Technicolors and the Greeting Committee, but we're going to be talking some brand new stuff from bands like Allo Monroe, Spill Tab, and just a whole bunch of new albums that just came out, and we're going to be prepping you on all the albums that are on the horizon here. Lots to jump into, buckle in as I say, and we are going to have a great time with this one. But first, let's kick it to Superfect for that sweet, sweet solo. What is up, everybody? This is Matt, the host of the Jamies, and we are kicking it with episode number 17 today, recording on March 23rd, 2026, and we have all of our music that I've been listening through since kind of beginning of March, late February, and it's packed. It always is, but we got a whole bunch to talk about. We're going to be talking about over 30 artists are going to be mentioned, like different artists throughout the show. We're going to be taking a deep dive on at least like 6 of them. We have 4 new albums to talk over and a good list of Saucy Singles. We also have like 9 different albums or EPs that are on the horizon that'll be coming out from either end of March all the way to May. And that's just like what's been announced. That's what I've seen so far. So much to look forward to. Not only springtime weather, get my ass back outside, but we have a whole bunch of great music to talk about today, as well as to look forward to in the coming months here. So yeah, this is episode 17. We're going to be deep diving into a bunch of different artists, but let's first start with just a little bit of housekeeping. Do follow the show. If you follow the show, you're going to be notified every time a new episode comes out. We're doing midway episodes now, so we had episode 16.5 come out 2 weeks ago. Those are going to be out on Fridays, and the main episodes are going to be out on Fridays. But if you click the follow button, you're going to be notified every time a new episode drops, and you don't even have to worry about keeping track. It'll just be a notification right on your phone. So do that for me. Appreciate it. And we're moving on to Jamie's playlist. Every single episode of the Jamies has its own curated playlist. Every song usually mentioned is going to show up on that Jamie's playlist. And this is going to be a Spotify playlist for every single song mentioned in the show. Click on the link in the description. It's going to bring you right to Spotify. You're going to be able to either listen through or shuffle up every one of the songs that I talk about here. So definitely keep that in mind. Click on that link below. Get a whole bunch of good music flowing. So next, if you have any music that you would recommend to me, if you've been enjoying any of the recommendations from the Jamies, or if you have music that you'd like to showcase on the show, we've been able to showcase quite a bit of music over the first year or so with the Jamies. So if you're looking to put your music out there on the podcast, definitely reach out to me. Easiest way is going to be at thejamieshow@gmail.com. That email address is right in the description as well. So click on that. Send me over an email if you want to chit chat about music. If you, I said chit chat in my last episode. I said folks twice. So yeah, I'm about to turn 33, but I'm sounding like I'm about to turn 63, I guess. But we are working our way through. Episodes have timestamps. That's all the housekeeping that I have for you. So we can get into the good stuff. We're going to be talking so much great music, and honestly, I've been having a tough time. One of the things that I wanted to start up in 2026 was labeling the best artists in show, as well as like the best song in show. So like if I had to recommend one artist above all else and one song above all else, this was what it would be. Man, it has been a tough job. We're going to have maybe a couple best artists in show. It's hard for me to choose. It's like picking a favorite child. All right, let's jump into the first artist to mention, the first artist that we deep dove into this month, and that is the Technicolors. So yeah, the Technicolors, we're going to be talking about their album from 2015 called Ultraviolet Disguise and their album from 2017 called Metaphysical. This was their second and third albums respectively. And this is some music. It's that rock genre for sure. It's really some music that honestly would have fit perfectly back in 2015 to 2018. And a lot of the music that I listened to back then went from the KG Elephants to the Kings of Leon and all that. I just feel not that they necessarily sound like those guys, but they definitely would fit in playlists perfectly well with those bands. And the Technicolors, unfortunately, I just never knew of them back then. So getting to get a chance to now, almost 10 years after, actually over 10 years after Ultraviolet Disguise had come out, stumbling into it for the first time, it was honestly a treat. The song Tonight You Are Mine was the first song that I heard by the Technicolors. Every time I queued it up, I was like, man, this is a good song. Like, I'd listen to it on my nice speakers and I'd be like, shit, all right. Like, label them as an artist that I want to deep dive into. And while they have 5 albums out, and I did at least give every album and EP that they have out a shot, at least listen to it once front to back. So diving into the Technicolors, they remind me of sort of like the Killers. I feel like would be the closest comparison, but they do jump around a lot. They sound like a lot of different bands, but they are truly uniquely their own and make their own music, of course. The album Ultraviolet Disguise, again, this is a deluxe album from 2015, and the whole album is just so strong front to back. Like, I loved queuing up the whole thing this month. It's been really solid for me, like potentially even as good as like the Strokes album Is This It, just in terms of an album that I can queue up every single song. I want to listen to every song. This one had the same thing going on, and we'll talk about some of my favorites, but I do want to mention their third album. This was called Metaphysical. It's an album from 2017, and this one's great front to back as well. I think that while I do feel like Ultraviolet Disguise has maybe a little bit higher highs, Metaphysical is still just a solid album front to back. The first 5 songs really get me, and yeah, my overall favorites for the Technicolors and the ones that I'd recommend above all else would be the opener on Ultraviolet Disguise is a song called I'll Love You Someday. We got that Tonight You Are Mine. We have the song One, and the song Neon Roses is the opener to the Metaphysical album. So those are some of my favorites, and listening through again, I at least gave every album and EP that they have out at least one full listen through. And some of the other ones that really stuck with me are the songs called Howl, I'm Not the One, and Space Cadet. Howl is off of their 4th album, and that one had definitely some good stuff as well. With the Technicolors, we got a whole bunch of good stuff. If you never heard of the Technicolors, I'm excited for you. Again, if you like that kind of 2015s rock, they have a whole bunch to add to it, and really a great catalog of music. They are a high recommendation, and that is why they're talked about first here on episode 17. Alrighty, moving on to something just a little bit different. We have the artist SpillTab. This is SPILL space TAB. This is a female artist that kind of sounds to me a little bit like the Billie Eilish, Sasha Sloan, maybe like Phoebe Bridgers. That almost like alt pop movement of like faint voiced female singers that really have carved out an incredible space. I've enjoyed all those artists that I just mentioned, and SpillTab has been a great addition into that whole genre of music. And the best thing for me about SpillTab so far has been that it's not just like an acoustic guitar or piano, it's just so much more going on. There is this electronic feel to it. There's like just great drums throughout most of the songs, like really give more to the drummer to do, I feel like, and to the drum beat in these songs than a lot of the other music in this space. The music just feels alive. I feel like it's funky at times, it's emotional and like dreamy at other times, and it really has been working great for me. It's been a long time really since I queued up Billie Eilish and Sasha Sloan. I used to have a playlist that really had all of that music combined in, and I listened to it enough in maybe 2020s, I would think, something around that time frame, maybe even earlier than that, but alas. SpillTab has been a great new kind of bring me back to those days, but also just throw me into something incredible and beautiful and new. So the album that I've been listening to the most is the album called AngieAngieAngie. This is actually a deluxe version of the album Angie that came out in May 2025. This deluxe album adds 4 new songs, and it was released on February 18th of 2026. So technically this year, AngieAngieAngie came out, and it has really been one of the things that I've queued up and listened to front to back more than anything else here. I think a lot of the music that I've listened to, I mean, some of the albums we'll talk about later, maybe I queued them up 8 times, something like that, but this album, again, front to back, I listened to this album like, I don't know, 15 plus times. So I'm a big fan of the whole album, again, front to back. There are very few songs that I would not recommend, and there was never a song that I skipped, honestly. Every time I had the time to listen to it, I listened to all of it. The one song that I recommend above all else, and potentially one of my favorite songs to share with you guys for the whole show, is the song called Angie. it's gonna give you a good idea of, again, just all the different ways that this music changes, even within the same song, of beautiful lyrics, a great voice, just some electronic, experimental, awesome vibes that are going on. And a couple other songs that I would recommend to check out if you don't have time for the full album right away. These are going to be songs called Aces, Athlete, Daguerre, or something like that, and Wet Veneer. So Aces and Daguerre are 2 of 3 songs on this deluxe album that she actually sings fully in French, which, man, I'm always very impressed when an artist can sing in another language and make it sound just as good, if not better, than what they already currently do in English. It amazes me. I don't need to know what the lyrics mean. I just like the vibe of them. And for sure, Aces and Daguerre, it's Deguerre. I could be butchering both those, honestly, but for fun, I just want to try to say the 3 French songs out loud, and you guys can rip me apart for it. But yeah, we have Aces, which is Assis. We have Daguerre, which is Deguerre, and then we have Coeur Chocolat, which is Coeur, and then chocolate without the E, which brings me to one of my favorite quotes of one of my favorite movies. It's in I Love You Man, like you watch Chocolat, like we're not fucking French. It's chocolate.
Do you know the best night I've had in the last 5 years is a night that Zoe and I split a bottle of wine, we made a summer salad, and watched Chocolat together?
You mean chocolate?
Chocolat.
Chocolate with Johnny Depp.
Chocolat.
You're not fucking French, Pete. It's called chocolate.
Chocolate's got an E on it.
That was your favorite night?
Yes.
Your best night in 5 years is watching Chocolate with Johnny Depp? You should be ashamed of yourself.
The combination of wine and summer salad and chocolat, yeah.
That is a whole bunch to say about Spill Tab and a little bit to say about the movie I Love You Man. And that is just because chocolat, a little bit of French, goes a long way. So do give Spill Tab a shot, especially if you're into, again, Billie Eilish, Sasha Sloan, anything like that. This is going to be a solid one to investigate into. Deep dive into the album AngieAngieAngie if you have the time. A couple other EPs and singles that she has out there are all good too, so that is Spill Tab. All right, next artist to mention, we've been talking about some pretty big artists, maybe upwards of 700,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, but we're going to bring it to something a little bit smaller, and smaller just because I think they're kind of just getting going. They released their first EP in 2025, and this is a band called Allo Monroe. Allo Monroe has about 500 monthly listeners, so again, we've been talking about some big names, but we're going to drop it down to Allo Monroe and mainly their EP that came out in June 2025 called Smoke in My Lungs. The first song I ever heard by Allo Monroe really stuck with me. It's called Augustine. It is on that EP. It's a great song. It's something that I had in my liked playlist, queued it up enough times, and knew I wanted to listen through what these guys had out there. And this 6-song EP, again, called Smoke in My Lungs. It's really quick, easy, digestible. I recommend the whole thing, but if you're looking for the main song, and really the reason that I have to recommend them here is because the song After the Smoke, it actually is the closer to the EP, and man, the band goes crazy in this one. It is one of the best songs that I've heard all month, honestly, and it's the reason that I'm going to be sticking with Allo Monroe and whatever comes next for this band. Their bassist, their drummer, the lead guitarist, and their singer just all are ripping in this one. The whole EP, again, is great, but the songs Augustine and the song After the Smoke, those are going to be 2 that I recommend fully and completely. Good lead vocalist, some good vocal layering with their backup vocalist, and After the Smoke, it has just 1,000 listens on Spotify, just over 1,000 listens on Spotify, and it's actually their least listened to song, and I feel like people need to hear this one as well as hear of the band Allo Monroe. So if you need a comparison, if you've ever heard of Racoma is a great indie band. Some of their older stuff is some of my favorite music in the indie space, and I do feel like Racoma, their lead singer, is regarded as one of the better singers in the indie space, and they're my comparison is Racoma to Allo Monroe. So if you like that band, or if you need a whole nother band to check out Racoma, especially, again, their early stuff. But we're talking Allo Monroe, we're talking the EP Smoke in My Lungs, and we're talking about a band that I feel is just bound to explode. So good luck to them. I will be backing them as well as listening to anything that they have to come out with as well. So we are going to move on, and we're going to get right back into a bigger artist, actually a gigantic artist. This is Sam Fender. I've been talking about Sam Fender for a couple episodes, some of the halfway episodes as well. And he was one that I wanted to take a deep dive into for a while now. He has 3 albums out right now, but really the song Rain Me In, specifically the one on the Deluxe album that features Olivia Dean, this song alone was enough for me to be like, this guy clearly has it. I want to listen to what else he has. I did take a deep dive. I was able to listen to each album at least once or twice through. And I do have a lot of good things to say about him. Don't get me wrong, I have a lot of songs that I enjoyed. I have a whole playlist of the songs that I do enjoy by Sam Fender. But when it comes to like these bigger artists with just enough music released, a lot of music released at times, if they don't fully hook me, especially if a full album front to back doesn't hook me, it just makes it difficult for me to want to sink in all too much time and energy, like into a huge catalog, multiple albums. Again, if it's not just hitting me like at 100%. And I feel like I should be okay to just move on from those bigger artists because, I mean, first off, more people actually do know of them. So that's time and energy that I could sink elsewhere. As well as on the flip side, the Technicolors have really been working for me this month. And even though they have 5 albums out, I got hooked on 2 of them and I was excited to queue them up every single time. I got nothing against Sam Fender. This is the same thing that happened with the Black Keys earlier in January. I wanted to take a deep dive into kind of a bigger, more popular artist at least once a month and basically like listen into an artist that has captivated so many and see, I don't know what the fuss is about, I guess is the expression. Deep diving into the Black Keys was, I liked the album Turn Blue. But I tabled it, I'm kind of waiting for the Black Keys. Maybe a big Black Keys fan will reach out to me and they can recommend, here's where to start, here's all the songs that I think you might like or listen to, and we'll go from there. Sam Fender, again, what am I going to say about Sam Fender that maybe isn't already told? If you haven't heard of him, I'm going to still give you some recommendations on songs. I mean, all this said, the songs that Sam Fender have that hit for me, like they hit hard. The ones that I do like the most, the ones that I'll still be recommending is the song Rain Me In, again with Olivia Dean. We talked about that one enough. We have the song Saturday off of his first album, as well as the songs The Dying Light and Pretending That You're Dead. All those ones, man, he's got something about his music that he's able to really belt his voice. He speaks on emotional topics, clearly deep emotional topics in his own life. And a lot of times it does work. I feel like the first album is a little bit too pointy for me, but his second and third album, when you work through them, you definitely find some gems throughout. So if you're looking for Sam Fender hits, those are the ones that work for me. And we'll be moving on to the next artist here. And the next artist we're going to be talking about is The Greeting Committee. So The Greeting Committee, this is going to be another one sort of similar to the Technicolors. They have a lot of music out there. And a lot of the music that I ended up digesting and liking the most is stuff that's a little bit older. We're going to be talking about mainly the EP from 2015 called It's Not All Bad. And their first album, which is called This Is It, from 2018. So again, they are still releasing music. The Technicolors are still releasing music. Both these bands have released an album in 2025. But with me not really knowing of the Technicolors, or now we're talking the Greeting Committee, their older stuff was brand new to me, and it's still the stuff that I want to talk about the most. So episode 17, we're going to be deep diving into the Greeting Committee, and the first song that I heard by them, it's actually their most popular song out there. That is a song called Hands Down. I saved that one right away, and I actually saved it last month. I knew I wanted to deep dive into the Greeting Committee. I just didn't know exactly how to jump into their music, so I ended up just shuffling up all of their music and seeing kind of what worked for me. And I was really noticing that all the music that I saved or was very much interested in, I guess, were things off of older music of theirs. I didn't have all that much time for the Greeting Committee, especially earlier in the month. Again, I kind of shuffled up some songs, made some decisions of what I was going to check out further. And I'm really glad that to close out this month, man, I've been ripping into these 2 projects, this EP and this album, queuing it up all the time because the Greeting Committee is definitely a band for me, and I've been loving their music. So they remind me a bit of a smaller artist. We actually got to mention this artist in the first ever episode of the Jamies. Their name is Moxie. It's a female singer, beautiful voice, kind of like cracks at the perfect moments of songs, and they also just rock behind the female singer. They have great drums, just really something. So the Greeting Committee, all those things said about Moxie transfer over to the Greeting Committee. Definitely my favorites by the Greeting Committee. Mix a great mix of rock music, but it is also just jazzy. It's groovy. Again, the lead singer is just phenomenal, and everything just comes together so nicely in these songs. So my favorites by the Greeting Committee, again, that song we talked about earlier called Hands Down, but also songs off of their first ever album. Again, that one was called This Is It. This Is It from 2018. Man, I listened to that whole album. Listen to that whole album. It is so good. Some of my favorites off that one are the song Pull It Together, You've Got Me, and the song More. And if you like the song More, then you really got to cue up some of Moxie's music, because that is what I'm talking about when I talk about a comparison. The lead singers of Moxie and the Greeting Committee, very much some talented artists out there. And that is what I have to say on the Greeting Committee. So we're going to be moving on to the band Quarters, recently known as Quarters of Change. They released their third ever album. It's called I Hope This Isn't the End of the World, and it released on March 13th. I had mentioned in episode 16.5, I believe, that I plan on deep diving into Quarters. I have known and loved Quarters for about 2 years now, so I have heard all their music before, but in preparation for the new album, I really wanted to at least take a dive through their albums again, get my thoughts and opinions collected on them, and it was a good chance to go back through their music, reminisce a little bit, and it was really what I started this month out on. Before I did any sort of music discovery, I was like, let me listen through Quarters of Change and all their old songs in preparation for, again, their new album. It was a good time. I listened through each album one time, and it just reminds me, definitely one of my favorite drummers in the indie space. One of my favorite drummers in general is with Quarters, and their lead singer also has a lot of range, and they make some great music. So their first ever album is called Into the Rift. It came out July 2022, and this one's a little edgier. It's not maybe like an album that I'm completely into, but it definitely just has some of their most solid music and most memorable moments. And my favorites off that is called T-Love, Rift, and Too Many Thoughts. So those are 3 good ones. Their second album came out January 2024. This one was called Portraits. This one's definitely more grounded with like lyrics and sound. It's much more like a produced alt rock feel, but there's some good stuff here too. The 2 favorites that I have off of it is a song called What I Wanted and the song Cherry Tree, and my favorite single by Quarters, the one that you really need to check out too, is a song called Kiwi. And Kiwi has some of my favorite drums, and it's just a great, it's a longer song, but it takes you on a little ride, and I do appreciate that. So now on to their third album. Again, came out March 13th. This is called I Hope This Isn't the End of the World, and Quarters, I'm there with you. I hope it's not the end of the world here. I unfortunately don't have much to say about this album at this time. Like, other things just kind of held my attention a little bit more this month, and I feel like maybe like 2 weeks wasn't enough time to potentially digest this album. I've given it maybe like 2 listens front to back, 2 or 3 I'd say, and unfortunately, I just can't definitively point out a song that really sticks with me. I feel like some of their singles that were out before this album that ended up making it on the album are definitely some of the songs that I like the most on the album, which, that happens sometimes. It gets you excited about the album, and then you kind of click into it, and maybe there's just not as much there for you outside of those, but nothing against Quarters. I'm very stoked for them to be releasing this album. I hope that it ends up clicking with me eventually. I just want to say congrats on the new album, and maybe next month we'll have a little bit more to say on it. Again, this is just first impressions overall for I Hope This Isn't the End of the World by Quarters. If you're looking for a little bit more conversation on Quarters, I do talk about them in an earlier episode of the Jamies, so if you haven't gone through the whole archive of Jamies episodes, we talk about Quarters a couple times. And we'll be moving off of them and on to the albums and EPs that have released in March. And we got some good stuff to talk about here, so let's get moving into it. We have the new album from the band Neverending Fall. This one is called Momentum! And Momentum, I say like that because it is all capitalized with an exclamation point. Every single song on this album, 15 songs by the way, are all capitalized. They all have an exclamation point after it. So I won't do the bit for every single song, but some of my favorites off of this album are the opener called Pastel Blue, the song Knife, the song Actress, Alive, and Momentum. So definitely an album that continues to grow on me. This is one that I've probably listened to like 7, 8 plus times so far. And even like the last time that I listened to this album, again, front to back. I started to feel like every single song might just be damn good. Like, I feel like the first time I listened to it, I was like, yeah, pretty good, pretty good. I like some stuff. I'm excited to keep on listening to it, and now it has worked its way into my bloodstream. I've been very much enjoying the album Momentum by Neverending Fall. It's definitely reminiscent of maybe some like 2000s electronic pop at times. It's got, in the smallest of comparisons to the band 303, if you remember them, don't. They're not 303 by any means, but I don't know why. That's just where my brain goes sometimes when I'm listening to them. They are a rock band at heart, and they're doing some great things with this album. So I do recommend the full one, but if you wanted just one or two, Pastel Blue, probably the best song on here. Momentum's great as well. The song Actress is one that has grown on me more and more as well. And that's the one that I've queued up probably more than any song on the album, surprisingly. Actress, the first time I heard it, I was like, no, not for me. And now look at me go. That's a great one. So good work on this album, Neverending Fall. And we're going to be moving on to the next one. This is called Around the Fire. This is an album by Moondoggy. It's actually their third album. They had an album last year. They have an album this year. Again, it's called Around the Fire. This released on March 6th, and favorites on this one are the song Grow Up, Move Out, and the song Not So Grim. It's an album, again, it grew on me. The first time I listened to it, I was like, a little bit of a bummer. I was hoping to at least have like two of the jammy jams of Moondoggy past. They're a band that has a lot of instruments, and they know how to play them very well. And when the full band is jamming, those are some of my favorites from them. Moondoggy's one band that we've got to talk about a couple times here as well. So if you're looking for more on Moondoggy, look at those timestamps on old episodes, I guess. I don't know exactly which episodes I talked on Moondoggy, but my favorites by them, again, it's just when all the music is being combined together. We got some great saxophone. They have an awesome drummer. And again, I totally respect the direction of all these artists and what Moondoggy has put out. I'm stoked that they were releasing their third album now, and it's just maybe not the exact type of music that I love for Moondoggy. All in all, still a good album, still has some good stuff. The one that I would recommend, and the one that'll be on the Jamie's playlist, is called Grow Up, Move Out. That one is very, very good. So keep up the good work, Moondoggy. Again, just excited for all these bands, these last three albums. They all had to grow on me a little bit. I don't know if they're going to catch people immediately if you don't have the ties to the albums or to the artists, I should say. But hey, give it a shot. If you're looking for good new music, there's so much out there. There's so much out there that, again, this whole episode, I mean, it was enough just to get my thoughts and feelings on just so much beautiful music out there. So we're spoiled. We're absolutely spoiled. And let's keep it going with the album that I did not think I was going to talk about this episode until it really pulled me in. It got me, especially with the first 4 songs. It's an 8-song album. This is called Take Me With You. It's by a band called Mellow, Swells. And the first 4 songs, it's really great. It's worth a listen. It's some good rock with some nice saxophone. It's kind of dreamy out there, really hard guitar at times in the background almost, but man, they're doing some with Mellow Swells. They're a band that I definitely like some of their music. They just haven't really released music in a couple of years, so I didn't know exactly what to expect from them not releasing any music. I think since 2023. 3 years later, we have a brand new album, and the first 4 songs on there are called Sunrise, Head to Toe, Brantley's Eagle, and Almond Joy. All great songs, and I would queue up all 4 of them. If you want to listen to the last 4, they get a little bit weirder, but still good. They have a pinball song that's maybe I don't know if it's a shout out to Pinball Wizard, but it's kind of fun. So that is the Mellow Swells and their latest album, Take Me With You. All right, time to stir up some Saucy Singles into this mix, and every one of these songs will end up on the Jamie's playlist. So again, link in the description. Brings you right to Spotify, and shuffle up any of these songs. Click through the ones that sound the most interesting to you. And we're going to start the Saucy Singles list with potentially my favorite song of the show. There's a lot competing for it, but this is definitely up there. This is going to be the song Windburn by the artist Kinji. Yeah, so Windburn by Kinji. This is, man, it is some dynamic, different music. It has some beautiful piano and it just mixes it with so much extra flavor. The song definitely goes pretty crazy towards the second half to later act of the song. All in all, it just comes together for something unique and just a great experience, and one that I personally have really been enjoying. I did get a chance to listen to Kinji's 2 EPs that they have out, and nothing quite to the same energy. I do need to give it at least one more listen, but another song that at least had some good piano and some good experimental, I guess, flavor again coming through is a song called Play Nice on his first EP. So that is Windburn by Kinji. Again, one of my top recommendations for this episode. Next up in Saucy Singles, we have the song called Self-Aware by the band Temper City. This one is their first and only song released so far, and they actually already have 10 million listeners on this one song alone. I think they've been doing a pretty good job with advertising. I first saw this song on TikTok, I believe, and at least I see their band page pop up a lot, and the song is really good. Again, it's called Self-Aware by Temper City. I feel like if they can match this energy for future songs, I do think we have a great artist on our hands. So some good rock, great hook. We got a lot to look forward to, hopefully, with the band Temper City, and starting off with their single Self-Aware. Next up, we have the song called Body Bag by Charlotte Lawrence. This is actually a song that I heard while I was watching the show Shrinking. If you haven't watched Shrinking, me and my wife have been absolutely loving it. We watched the first season back in the day, heard that the second season was already out, and the third season is being cooked out right now. So we've been really enjoying that. It is a good one of those heartwarming shows. I mean, it's definitely sad, touches on very emotional, deep topics, but they do it in a really kind of inspired way. So we do recommend Shrinking to anybody out there, and it has a great soundtrack as well. And one of the great songs that we heard from that is, again, the song called Body Bag by Charlotte Lawrence. It is a tearjerker. It is definitely in a sadder part of the show, and it is just sort of a somber type tone of a song. So do recommend it, though. Sometimes you're in the mood to let out a cry. Actually, Shrinking Season 1 talks about that, so we'll move on to the song When I'm Stoned by Blank Space. This is an artist that I did give a shot to once before, the artist Blank Space. This one really hooked me. A few of the other songs are good too. There's a song called You're Still Mine that I like, but they actually released their first song in 2 years, in February, so it's been since 2024 that they've had a release, and When I'm Stoned is off of a old EP, I believe. It's some good stuff. Again, it'll be shuffled into the Jamie's playlist. We have 2 songs from 2020, both by the same artist. Their name is Geskle, I believe. It's Geskle. And these are some good, catchy, good vibey rock songs. One is called Ruby, and then the other one is called So She Goes. Both show up on the same EP from 2020 called Rose Colored Glasses, and I do enjoy those ones. Those ones have been circulating in my liked songs playlist for the whole month now. So another one that has been in that liked songs playlist for the whole month is the song called Circles Around the Truth. It's like circles, parentheses, around the truth. And this is by the band 1002. I'm not sure if that's exactly how they say it, but yeah, it's TN02. There you have the band and the song, and this is one of those ones that I've given 1002 one listen all the way through this month, and they might be worth another deep dive, but I know that this one for sure, Circles, is a great one. And this one, Circles Around the Truth, this is a hard-hitting refrain. It's got great guitar throughout it, and there's like a nice guitar solo to end it. Check out all those Saucy Singles, and those are all from sort of new artists that we've never talked about. I do have a list that I'm just going to rapid fire through for the most part here, and these are all singles from artists that we follow, that we've mentioned on the show before, and they're all released within the past few weeks, essentially, within like really the past 2 to 3 weeks at most. So again, I'm recording this one on March 23rd, 2026, so these ones have all come out in the past 2 weeks or so. We're probably going to have a couple big releases out on the day that this airs, the 27th. Some of the songs to mention, we have It's Real Love and I've Always Been Strange. These are 2 different songs by Codfish. I went into a nice little beat on Codfish in episode 16.5, really explaining just, again, I mean, favorite beatboxer out there. He's just been releasing song after song, and these latest are honestly some of the best. Great recordings, some awesome drop-ins, and love me some Codfish. And these songs, It's Real Love and I've Always Been Strange, are 2 top-notch songs. couple, again, rapid fire. We got a song Phone Sick by Tommy Newport. That one just came out last Friday for me. Heavy in the Morning by Old Mervs. First time being able to mention Old Mervs, and a brand new song from them this year, again, called Heavy in the Morning. We have the song 16 by Rainbow Kitten Surprise, so brand new one from RKS, and still following with the really good What I Like from RKS, so 16, another one to check out by them. We have the song Living Room by Wet Denim. Wet Denim was one that we brought up in January of 2025. That is the band, and this is the first song that they've released actually since 2024, I believe. They had one song in 2025. But big news for Wet Denim, releasing a new one, and it is a great one. It's some good alt-rock. That one's called Living Room, again, by the band Wet Denim. We also have Waste of Time. This is a new one by Rec Hall. This one's a little bit less of upbeat vibes that Rec Hall usually has, but it's still good. I mean, it's still a great song. So Waste of Time by Rec Hall, still going to be recommending. They're the band that has not released a song that I don't like so far. So good on you, Rec Hall. Keep the streak alive. And we're going to continue into just a couple of country folk songs. We have the song You and Me by Cameron Whitcomb. Really been enjoying this one. Very pretty song. If you have somebody in your life, I think maybe playing this song. It's beautiful. And we also have the song Talking About Jesus. That's by Jonah Kagan, who we've mentioned a lot of times in 2025. That's a good new one from him. And then we also have Fear in God by Avery Anna and Sam Barber. So another collaboration from Avery Anna and Sam Barber, and a song called Fear in God. And that is all the Saucy Singles. So again, every one of those ones, they'll be in the Jammies playlist. Don't feel like you have to pause, search. Just go right to that link and listen through the ones that sound like good stuff for you. So all that being said, we have the upcoming albums and EPs for kind of end of March here. We have 2 more releases. Actually, today we have 2 releases that I'll mention. And then we just have a couple to get through for all of April and anything in May. Just basically the stuff that we're looking forward to, the stuff that we know is out at this point, and what the Jammies is most likely going to be talking about in future episodes. For now, though, we have on March 27th, again, the day that this episode airs, we have the EP from Florence Road. It's called Spring Forward. That is a 4-song EP. They actually have 3 of the songs out already, so it'll be one brand new one for me. But if you haven't heard anything from Florence Road, you're in for a treat. This is a phenomenal band. I've talked about plenty of times there. I'm looking forward to that one. We also have So Much to Tell You. This is the deluxe version of So Much to Tell You from Axe and the Hatchet Men. So they released an album last year. We didn't get to talk about it too much, but it was called So Much to Tell You. And then the deluxe version, I believe, is adding maybe four or so songs. So again, that is also out March 27th, so it's out now. And looking really early April is going to be some stuff that I am extra excited for. Sam Barber, we stumbled into last year. We took a deep dive into his music and didn't have to wait long for more because he has a whole new album coming out called Broken View. This one's going to be out on April 3rd, so right around the corner. If you wanted a taste of it right now, the new single Borrowed Time, again by Sam Barber, is going to be in the Jammies playlist. Also on April 3rd is the Junkyard Cat EP. So this is the band Junkyard Cat and their EP, self-titled Junkyard Cat. I believe it's 5 songs. The new single called Fool is out. It's very, very good. They're another band that kind of reminds me of the Backseat Lovers. But even recently, listening to the song called Fool, I've realized that they actually sound a lot like the Moss as well. This Fool song actually kind of sounds like, I guess, maybe Grand Hoodoo or Hoodoo from the Moss. Some similarities, just realized with Junkyard Cat, and definitely looking forward to 5 new ones from them on their EP releasing on April 3rd. We also have a couple albums coming out on April 17th from some of my favorite indie artists. We have the album Entropy by Foxtide. Foxtide released an album last year. They released a deluxe album last year to tack on a couple more songs, and they're getting right back to it with this new album, Entropy, that is releasing on April 17th, as well as hallpass and their debut album they are releasing on April 17th called Spillway. They have a new single out called Home, so if you want to check that one out. Foxtide, by the way, also released a new single, Wait For It or something like that. That's going to be on the album, but I'm kind of to the point with these releases now that April 17th, I can wait. Like, I don't really even want to spoil any of these singles. I want to digest the whole album as it is, so I'm kind of weird like that with some of these bands, but I'm just so looking forward to full albums from Foxtide and hallpass. They're definitely 2 bands that I was waiting to hear from, and specifically hallpass, this being their debut album. I'm just stoked for them, stoked for Foxtide, and really looking forward to hopefully 2 solid, tight albums that we can talk plenty about on the Jamies. Noah Kahan is releasing a new album. This is going to be on April 24th. The album is going to be called The Great Divide. I know there's a lot of Noah Kahan fans out there. If you're into indie music and indie folk, blew up. Noah Kahan did. So The Great Divide, gotta mention it here. I'll be listening to it, and we'll see how much we digest and want to share about Noah Kahan's new album coming out April 24th. Again, that's called The Great Divide. A quick look ahead just into May. On May 1st, Young the Giant's releasing a album called Victory Garden. They now have 2 singles out from it. Both singles are really good. Has me excited about a Young the Giant album for the first time in quite some time. So very happy to be hearing these singles, and happy that they're working for me so far. Another one in May, on May 8th, is going to be an album called As Is by Josiah and the Bonnevilles. So another one there, and potentially a debut album maybe from Margot Sinclair, who we've talked a lot about on the show too. I don't have official word on that, but they had a post about a new song, Boat Song, and it says the second song from our debut album, Boat Song. So I'm like, debut album, any other news on this? Nothing yet, but I will be sure to be keeping track of that for sure, because Margot Sinclair is always releasing good stuff. So a debut album, hell yeah. And that is a wrap on all the music to talk about. Check out the Jamie's playlist, shuffle up the songs. Let me know what you enjoyed. If you have any recommendations for the show, definitely let me know. And if you have any music to showcase on the Jamies, do reach out. Best way is going to be through any social medias or at that email address, jamieshow@gmail.com. And if you wanted to find out everything that the Jamies is working on, check out the Linktree link. That's also going to be in the description. That's going to bring you to anything that links Jamies related or any of my social medias related. So check out Linktree for that. And again, do follow the podcast. Make sure you're following so you get notified when new episodes drop. We're doing 2 a month now. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that and those midway episodes to come along with these full episodes here. So all in all, that is what I had to say on this one. I appreciate everybody for listening, for sticking with the Jamies. Again, 17 episodes. We have a lot more on the horizon. All this music that I've been finding this year has got me so excited. I mean, the music has been so good. It doesn't matter if it came out in 2015 with a lot of this stuff today or stuff that's coming out next month. We are spoiled in the music industry, and this is just one small piece of the cake that I usually reference. And I hope you guys are enjoying the artist recommendations that are brought up. No matter what, I mean, I'm getting so much out of the music, so I just want to thank the artists for making incredible music, incredible art out there. And yeah, everybody keep up with it. We're getting there, is what I keep on telling people. We're late March, we're getting there, we're almost at the spring, so hopefully spring into some good weather and some good vibes and just good positive energy, right? Just want to say again, thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your week and keep on jamming.